Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today, let's talk about OS upgrades and missing features. Okay, so a couple of days ago we did episode 362 about progressive web apps and the monetization problem. And I talked a little bit about some of my concerns about doing progressive web apps and why we haven't really done any yet. And I talked about stuff like the payments and everything like that. And you guys came forward and said, actually, they just came out with a payments API, you should check it out. So I've been looking at that like all weekend, right? But there was a really good comment in there too by Judge West 2000. By the way, make sure you read all the comments on all the videos, because a lot of times I'll say something and then somebody will come up with something really good, and it's your guys' experiences that really make it. So I might say I had this experience, and somebody could say I had the opposite experience, and it just sort of gives you a full grounding on what the app developers out there face. But so Judge West 2000 said, iOS will kick your ass with PWAs. One version they'll support an essential function, the next release is broken. Right, and I said, I suppose that's a very interesting point. I suppose they could do that. They could release something and just completely break it because they own the platform, and yeah, I suppose that could be. But I was kind of skeptical about it. I was like, yeah, you know what? I suppose that is theoretically true. They could do that. But then he came back with this. I have a real-world example. One of my PWAs has been in the wild since 2013, offline, full screen, full SPA, a really good example, in my honest opinion, of a web app done right, used to take photos of car maintenance work and workflow type operations. With iOS 11, the ability to take a picture broke for 6 straight months until iOS 13 came out. That's really interesting. I mean, one of the things that I think about when I work with frameworks, I mean, and I'm not just talking about hybrid, I'm talking about any frameworks. I'm talking about like Corona, Unity, Ionic, any Cordova apps, any of them, is that the OS can change, and I wonder whether or not they'll take all that into consideration. You would hope so. You would hope they would have really good testers on board, and they'll say, okay, we're releasing this new version. Does the Safari team, are they working on this? Or is it all the other teams? So I know that Microsoft used to do that. Every time they come up with a new Windows version, everybody had to test everything, and sometimes things just would stop working. Right? And that's one of the concerns I have in terms of using anything like progressive web apps or anything that's non-native. And that's like a lot of things. I mean, you could just say that's why you should go native all the time, but native is expensive, right? Anytime you go something non-native, I always wonder if they change the operating system. I'm not saying they would do it maliciously. Like, I don't think they would do that. I don't think, screw those guys, we're going to force them out of the market. Although, you never know. But I don't think that, I just think that they'll change something, and then you'll be relying on this one little thing, which was fantastic that they finally implemented it, and then, but they don't think, not very many people are using it or whatever. They just don't test it, and then it just moves forward. So today I wanted to bring your attention to that to Judge West 2000 comment, because I thought it was very interesting, especially for those of us who are thinking about going into progressive web apps. And for me, it's not so much like if it's my own app, I probably could cope. If it's a client app, then then you have all that kind of stuff too. They might want their money back or whatever. I mean, who knows? But so it's something to put in, like even if you do a client app, make sure you put that into your terms and conditions in your contract and everything. If the OS changes, you're not liable for anything like that. You're getting it working on the current OS, the current specs and everything like that. So anyway, just something to think about. I thought it was a fantastic comment. Thanks, Judge West 2000. And that's it for today. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.